Well, hey there, YouTube. Kyle back at you again with Kyle's Creations. Yeah, I think I'm going to nickname this bike Pristine, because it has just been one horrible electrical thing after another. You know, in the last video that I put up about this, I was having trouble with it. Went through the entire system, went through all the plugs, and you know, trace back as much of the wiring as I could. Well, it turns out that just underneath here, which is where a large junction of plugs and stuff are, somebody at some point had switched two identical plugs. They're both 6-pin plugs that were black, but one was only using 4 pins and the other one was using 5 pins out of the 6. And in the one 4-pin connector there was a ground wire, and they had switched the plugs because they look identical, so it's very easy to put them together and not really think about how many wires are, you know, going into it, because it's wrapped up all the way to the plug, so it's kind of hard to see unless you cut back the insulation and stuff like that. So finally figured that out, got those switched. It's like, okay, yay, bike should run, and it did. And all the lights came on, everything started working right, so put everything back together, and I could get the bike to turn over, and I could get it to fire up. And then the strangest thing, as soon as I put the kickstand up, the bike would die. Usually with your kickstand switch, it's when the kickstand switch goes down. So it's like, okay, something's funky there, so I disconnected the kickstand switch. Like, cool, let's go for a ride, see how she drives. I then was going to put it, I pulled in the clutch, and then grabbed the front brake, and it died. Did the same thing again, grabbed the front brake, it died. So I disconnected the front brake. Okay, now she doesn't die. Like, okay, you know, let's go, let's do this, you know. And fired it up again, get everything, pull the clutch, go to put it in gear, it dies. Like, what the, you know? And so I did it again, put it in gear, it dies. So I'm like, what the heck's going on? Well, it turns out that the clutch, you know, clutch lever has a little switch in it that tells the bike when the clutch is being pulled in or not. Well, that is bad, because it's never, like when I went to go put the bike in the gear and I had the clutch pulled in, that little switch is not telling the computer that the clutch is pulled in. So as soon as I put it in gear, it just dies. So I did all that, and so I put all the other safeties back. I put the kickstand switch and all that stuff back the way it was, except for the clutch lever, and was able to get it to go into gear and to want to run. Well, the bike idles great, so I go to take it out, and it just starts sputtering and popping and sputtering and popping. Well, it turns out that the kill switch that's up there also has a little bit of a short in it. It's not making great connection. If you mess with it and you click it, you can get the bike to rev up and idle really good. But then, you know, you go over the slightest bump or whatever, and it goes right back to what it was doing before. So I've got to order a new switch for that. And I was actually thinking about going through the carburetors. I don't think it's a carburetor issue, because like I said, it just idles beautifully and sounds really good. I mean, she sounds really tough, got a really nice look to it, and you know, she's going to be a good bike. I think I'm going to make this one my bike. You know, I say that a lot, you know, because I go through a lot of motorcycles, but I'm kind of liking this one, you know, and I got it for cheap, so let's see if we can't bring her back to life. But I just wanted to let you guys know that, you know, don't get discouraged. You know, take your time, go through, and you know, just visually inspect everything. And like I said, when it comes to those safety devices, you've even got one in your brake handle, you've got one in your clutch handle, you've got one for the neutral switch. You've got one for the kickstand lever. Check out all that kind of stuff. But finally figured it out, and I appreciate all the comments and stuff. And yeah, there's going to be some better content coming, guys. It's a bit of a weird time right now for me, and we're trying to get back at it. So especially once the temperatures start cooling off here in the desert, it'll be a little easier to make some content. I mean, granted, we're sitting in an air-conditioned garage right now, but it's hard to move things around and kind of get motivated sometimes. But thanks for watching, and if you have any comments, questions, concerns, all that good stuff, let me know. See you on the next one.